Hello, hello. It is Lanissa and Kate, and we are back with another episode of What's Hot and What's Not for physician liaisons and healthcare sales reps. And today we are talking about Unstuck-It, which is getting out of a rut. When you're in a rut with a certain office and you feel like you're not making any progress, how do you get out of that rut? So,
Mhm.
what's hot is getting out of the rut, removing
Get
yourself
unstuck.
from the rut, getting unstuck. So, that's what's hot. Kate, I know you have a lot of thoughts and some experience with getting unstuck and getting out of the rut with offices. So, I want you to tell us some more about that.
Well, it's such a defeating feeling, right? To feel like you're reliving the same call every time you go in an office. It's just really like, oh, when they come up on your call cycle or when you pull up into their parking lot and then you start like procrastinating going in there, right? Because you're like, here we go again. I'm just going to go in there and then I'm going to get shut down and I'm going to go back out. So for me, one of the most important ways to get unstuck is to objectively look at the past with this office. Okay. Like, have I really done my due diligence? Have I had the opportunity to meet with them? Am I actually going in there or am I skipping them every other call cycle? Right? Like,
Uh-huh.
am I building relationship? What's my role in this? And then looking for a new approach. Sometimes it just takes like, it's so easy for the office to give you that we're so busy. Oh, they're busy with patients. And it's really easy to accept that too, to just be like, oh, yeah, okay, I get it. Next time and roll on with your life. But that leads to that negative cycle of really feeling stuck with an office. And it can really be, it can really hijack your success, definitely, and it can hijack your emotions surrounding seeing that office pop up on your call cycle. So I know, Lanissa, you talk about this too, just like reframing your approach. And maybe that's reframing the close. Like we talk a lot about that in our always be closing video, which
Yes.
is what is the close? Maybe every time you've been asking for 5 patients, and if, when you look back objectively, have you earned 5 patients? Have you actually gotten to them where they're like buying in that they want to send 5 patients? Maybe not. So maybe this time the close is a dinner meeting, like where you can talk more about it. Or maybe the close is, hey, why don't you come to our office and see what your patients are experiencing? But just reframing the ask or reframing what is going to be the successful call will help a lot, because that way if you reframe it, then you go in there and you're asking a completely different thing. Let's just take that office, for example, that does the word, oh, he's busy with patients. He can't see you right now. No worries. Let me talk to your billing specialist about X, or let me talk to your receptionist about how we use brochures, something like that. And then you can walk out of there feeling like, I did move the dial forward, and you get a little bit more unstuck with each call. Other times, if you take a completely different approach, you would be shocked at how you leave that call being like, wow, I never knew that about them. Or, wow, he actually really does like to talk, if you just set it up differently and you come in there with a different agenda. Linus, I know you mentioned reframing your agenda. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So even simple things like exactly what you're talking about, simple things like if you're feeling stuck and every time that doctor's too busy to see you, and so you just drop the same brochures and leave, something as simple as can I schedule an appointment? When is a better time to see them? And so just very simple things like that. But
Hmm.
also sometimes too, the reframing of your own brain. And
Right.
so sometimes I think that in our minds, we think that we have to have a certain outcome and we're worried about what's in it for us. And so
Hmm.
reframing that brain or that mindset to what's in it for them. How can I serve them? Can I just walk into this call and serve them in some way? So whether
Hmm.
that's bringing them something of value, like letting them know of something valuable that your practice or your product offers their patients, and reframing your brain, and that's a win, giving your brain that dopamine hit. The other thing for me is how I get a dopamine hit. And when I'm riding in the field with reps, sometimes they think that I'm crazy because I'll walk out of the call super giddy. And they're like, what? I didn't even see it. I didn't even catch it. But for me, instead of just the dopamine hit of like, oh, I'm going to write your product or I'm going to send you this referral, the dopamine hit is really, I've learned to reframe my brain. The dopamine hit is really finding a piece to the puzzle. Like, what is the piece to the puzzle? Like, how can I get to know this office better? What would move the dial forward in this office? What can I learn about them? What do they need? And so, is there a puzzle piece in the office? How many puzzle pieces can I find on this office visit? What are those puzzle pieces? And so, when I walk out of an office, sometimes on a call with a rep, I'll be giddy because I'll have found like 10 puzzle pieces and they're like, what? Like, I missed that. I didn't even see that.
We didn't even meet with the doctor. And you're like,
because they were so focused on like getting to the end result. Like, can I get them to use my product? Can I get them to refer that one patient? But sometimes reframing and retraining your brain that the dopamine hit and is something different than what you think it is. And that can really help with the delayed gratification in a longer sales process as well. So for me, that is how I can get out of a rut and how I can even try to prevent from getting into a rut in the first place. And so that's what's hot, is like getting unstuck. What's not
doing
hot
something
is
different.
Doing something different. What's not hot is, staying stuck. And so, how do you stay stuck? Why are you staying stuck? It's probably because you're allowing yourself to stay stuck. You're not doing something different. I mean, what's that old saying? Like, what's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And so doing something different. I mean, we've even talked about little things, Kate. Tell us your list story real quick, like when you're in a rut. This is a different story, but it's a really good one. It's really useful for kind of just that brain, like getting your brain out of that rut.
Yeah, when I'm feeling stuck, like in general, I will make a list, and I'm not a huge like list maker, or I don't like to do any admin work basically. But I will sometimes, if I'm feeling like I'm not being as productive, or I have all these things I wanted to get done, but like I just feel like the time gets away from me, I will make a list and I will write down very simple, basic things on that list so that I can cross them off. I mean, I will be drinking my coffee and writing my list, and I will write down coffee and make a list on the list so that I can cross it off and start with a win. And that's just how my brain works, and it starts to build that momentum. And if you start collecting those puzzle pieces like Lanissa was talking about, and you've got this kind of running list of all these pieces of the office, you can start to cross off answering those needs. Maybe like there's a bunch of different barriers, but then you start to cross them off, and the momentum that will bring for you, like, wow, I'm actually like, this is what I'm doing. And maybe it's weird, but I love those challenges too. Like I'm like you, I like to get the puzzle pieces and like, oh, this is a hard office. Like I'm going to win them over. I love that challenge. I love to peel back all the layers of the onion and then find what the heart of the matter is. But you can't do that if you're going to stay stuck. And if you're going to just keep going in with your brochures and your features and benefits, ask to talk to the doctor, get told he's busy, and then say, okay, well, here's some donuts and some brochures. Bye.
Yeah.
That is not gonna work.
Yes, absolutely. So get unstuck. How you do that is you reframe your brain, reframe your message, reframe your process, do something different to get unstuck. If you want to learn more, you can check out our other videos, or you can find us at lanissabrantley.com. And until next time, thanks so much for tuning in. See you later.
Bye.